Good evening and welcome to the MPNFL Footy Show. I think I'll get rid of those. I was actually going to ask everyone what you thought of the glasses, but I've made the decision myself. They're okay when I'm reading, but I don't think they make me look any more attractive, I suppose. What's the old saying? You can't grow grass on a heavy street, and you've got a good head for radio. You've got a good head for radio. Welcome, everyone, to the MPNFL Footy Show. It is Division 2, thanks to OBrien Real Estate. Good evening to Chris Holcomb. Welcome, Holtz.
How are you, mate? I think the term is you can't polish dog shit.
Yes, sort of, yeah. And as usual, Holtz, you always bring it down a couple of levels. Hello, Tony Blackford. Good to have you with us.
I reckon they look good on you, Dan.
Do you? All right, well, I'll put them on and we'll actually do a bit of a poll and see whether the community out there in Facebook land like me in the glasses or don't like me in the glasses.
Yeah,
whether that makes me look
better,
better, look older, or look more educated, which is very, very hard. Now, it's a great pleasure to welcome two of our favourites on GameFace. Yeah, absolutely love having these two gentlemen on. They're almost like permanent panel members. They handle themselves well in the media. They're premiership teammates from the Hastings Footy Club back in 2016 against the Frankston Bombers in the old Nepean competition. Now playing at Chelsea, Sean Foster. Welcome, Foz. Good to have you with us.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks for having me.
And Paul Rogash, one of the best players in the competition, coming off, if you don't mind, umpire a 38 disposal game, thanks to Premier Data at 84% efficiency. Paul Rogash. Welcome, Paul.
And I wrote my own intro too. Thanks, man. Thanks,
you
mate.
sure did. And I learned it off by heart, Paul, as well.
I'm glad you got that text today, mate. So, good to be here.
And, of course, they are here tonight for GSA, which is Growth Syndicates Australia. Good photo of them too. That must have been, after you won the premiership, having a glass of red wine, helping you eliminate debt, consolidate debt, and pay off the mortgage in around 5 years. As I said, Paul Rogash joining us after his side's big win over Pearcedale, putting them in the finals mix. Sean Foster joins us after the Gulls thrashed Tyre by 19 goals, and the Gulls are also in the finals mix. Jackson Calder kicks 11 to move to 42.
Thank you, Jacko.
In the goal-kicking competition as the Dogs showcase a new recruit, a controversial new recruit against Crib Point. Seaford, Summy and Langy keep powering on. And, of course, Hulk's most valuable team is with us for another week.
Consistency, mate.
38.
Fozzie, it was a slow start, but you finally found some form. And do you think it's because other players have jumped on board to assist you, Curtis Bywater and your apprentice Zane Carter, after you're 1 from 3? It seemed to be you three showing up in the first 3 weeks of the season. But from then on, everyone else has chipped in.
Yeah, he's mentioned the King. I reckon the King's paid him off as well.
King's been ordinary.
He'll hate that, Holtz.
Oh, he was kicking goals, the King. That's his role,
look, it's...
Oh, he passes a lot off too, doesn't he?
It started, and it was a master stroke from Brainy, but it started with the pub session, Dan. We got down the Cove, had about 10 jugs, and just a good old-fashioned bonding session, and we, since then we've been playing probably a more competitive brand and playing as a team more collectively than not. So, obviously disappointing against Moynton the previous week to lose that one, but to respond the way we did Saturday was pretty pleasing.
He's a shocking trainer, Foz, Dan. I reckon after every loss he used to suggest a pub session. So it's good Brainy actually fell for it this time.
Well, these two guys are great mates, as we know, from their Hastings days. So expect a bit of banter on the panel tonight.
Does it hurt your club not having an under-19s?
Yeah, definitely. It's always, especially as a senior player, it's good to get down and catch the end of the under-19s and see who's up and coming. As there's nothing more exciting.
And look at the future, and
there's nothing that gets you up more than having an under-19 come in and play a game. I reckon. It's great
right.
seeing them come up and do well, and just the excitement on their faces. So we haven't got that this year, and it's left a little bit of a hole. But hopefully, the club's working pretty hard to make sure they get that back up.
And the thing too, Dan, is Edithvale up the road, they've only won one game in the under-19s. It's a really expensive area to move into now, so young families probably aren't moving into the area like they used to.
You got a couple of rentals in there, Tony?
Yeah, a couple of rentals up there. Getting good return for them.
Can you see if Blake is becoming a one-division competition?
Well, I don't think the one-division competition, no, because I think what's happened now with promotion and relegation is the best thing that's happened to this competition in the last 20 years.
No, I'm talking about the under-19s.
No, you need the 19s playing under the senior banner. You can't have them here, there and everywhere. It's just, it'd be dog's breakfast.
But what I do think, though, Dan, and it's a perfect example from a fella from Pearcedale, Corey Hanger, couldn't get a game at Langwarren, right? He's gone out to Pearcedale and he's playing senior football. He's kicked 5
On
goals.
Rogash.
Yeah, on
Rogash.
Rogash.
We don't need to mention who his opponent was.
Well, he wouldn't have been picking him up anyway.
Six-man defence.
Rogash might have got 38, but Hanger got 5. You know?
Paul's one of the best readers of the play.
Yeah, but he wasn't reading there. But all I'm saying, though, Dan, there's a lot of clubs that have got a wealth of under-19s. There's a wealth of them. So clubs should have a cap, I think, on under-19s. And so, say, for instance, then the rest of those kids go down and play at another club. And Corey Hanger is a perfect example.
Now, I believe Plugger Bodie, who is Glenn Carter's nephew and works here at GameFace, he was given a clearance to go and have a game at Hastings in the twos on the weekend, Paul.
Good Hastings man.
Because he's a great Hastings man. Because Frankston YCW, his team, and Hastings have a good relationship between the two coaches. And well done, Chris Hutchison, the coach of the reserves there, to allow that to happen. That's great for the competition.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Plugger rang me on the Friday asking for an away pair of shorts. But no, it is really good. I think John Murphy, our assistant coach, has a relationship with the YCW guys.
Well, because he coached down there as a junior coach, and then he worked through the ranks.
Yeah, absolutely. And for them to allow that sort of thing, just means if a couple extra people are out there playing a game of footy when they would be just sitting on the sidelines, it's a great thing for the competition. Just on the under-19s thing, obviously, as you know, Dan, I work with the Northern League, and the under-19s are actually graded separately to the seniors, so they are 19s teams that play all around. The bloke I work with that runs the seniors has a headache trying to grade them all and put them all around everywhere. But you get them with the senior team when you can at the home games, and then away games, sometimes they're elsewhere. But it can be done depending on the structure of, I'm not sure.
That grading's about 18. Is it about 18 or 20 teams or whatever it is? I saw, because what kid that works for me plays for one of the teams. He goes, we're in grading season. What are you talking about, grading season? Then I had to look at the ladder and I've gone, wow, that's a different...
It happens in the juniors because we cover the YJFL, as Paul knows, and we also cover the Frankston Junior Football League and also the South East Junior Football League, predominantly the elite competition there where they all play together, and they have grading matches for a month in the juniors. And Paul, you know all about that big smile on your face. It is a pain in the backside.
Keeps me from sleeping the first 6 weeks of the footy season, Dan. I'm still going, trying to get this fixture sorted. So anyway, we'll move on from that. I have conniptions talking about that.
So Sean, you're in obviously contention for a spot in the finals now. Do you feel you can make it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's pretty even. I was saying to Paul before, traditionally we don't look at the ladder too much, especially this early in the piece, but I've had a little bit of a sneak peek, and I think Devon have got us by 4 points, and percentages are all pretty even. Ours caught up a little bit.
You're 9% ahead of them now. Yeah.
Well, ours caught up a bit on the weekend. Prior to that, it was 91 or something, apparently.
There's probably 4 sides, Dan, isn't there?
Yeah.
4 sides. Hastings and Chelsea, Devon Meadows and Rye.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
I'd say Kringle.
As well.
Yeah. You think so?
And at the moment, other than obviously Langier, probably that step ahead of everyone. But at the moment, going to a game, you could win or lose to anyone.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah, 100%.
So, which again goes back to what Blackers was saying before with the promotion, relegation, Division 1, Division 2. That's what we wanted, and that's what's so good about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a wonderful comp, Paul, isn't it? I mean, your team started slowly, new coach, Clint Einsendale. Now, he's been flying under the radar. I had a bit of a chat to him via text today to give me an update on the injuries.
How did you chat to him then via text?
What's that?
How did you chat to him?
Oh, well, we just text.
Oh, yeah.
That's sort of
That's
your
not
chat.
chatting
You're chatting
to him.
via text. Well, yeah, it sort of is, Blackers. All right, don't be pedantic. How's he going?
On Siri.
He's obviously doing a great job, isn't he?
He is, mate. Yeah, he's. I was saying before, it's. I think as long as I've been there, we've always had a playing coach, which obviously can work really well at times, and clearly has in our past. But it's great to have someone on the sidelines. I think with our demographic, we've got a few of those guys that sort of, between sort of 20 and 25, 26 that are going to be the ones to take the club forward when a few of us older guys, fall away. For him to sort of see a lot more of them and work with them a lot more to really upskill or accelerate their development, I think has been really, really good, and he's been great for us. I couldn't say a bad word about him, especially not on this high-rated program that everyone watches, Dan.
The highest.
He's been great and certainly put a game game plan in place that's starting to come to fruition. We just got to keep some soldiers out on the park, mate, with myself included.
Young Foy's been really good, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a ripper. Last few Fozzie would know as well. Last few years, he's sort of
really developed,
threatened to really explode, and he's just so coachable. And we've got a couple of these kids that but he's starting to come on now. He's getting bit more time in the midfield.
Yep.
So he's learning that as well, because he's probably predominantly played half back, which he was playing really well. But he's moving in the midfield, so he's just learning that craft a bit as well. But he's a good player and a good kid, so he'll just adapt wherever he goes.
He's consistently in your best players.
Yeah. No, he doesn't do anything wrong.
That's right.
Yeah. And Tom Backman's been a great recruit, very good cricketer, as we know as well, from the Southern Football League, where Clint Einsendale's been. He's been out for the last couple of weeks, but what's he bring to the team?
Oh, leadership and just a cool head down back. He's just uses the footy really well. He's a really good user of the footy. He gets carried away with himself, so I can't say too much good about him. But
that doesn't sound.
No, he's a ripper, Tom. I sort of knew him before he came down a little bit as well. So
that's handy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, to have a familiar face or two. I think he'd met Nath Gray as well through our connection, and he's just fitted in perfectly. Like, gets along with all the boys, and as Foz knows, it's a pretty good club down there that new guys come in and they take you in, especially if you're getting a kick. If you're getting a kick, they jump on pretty quick and wrap their arms around you. So.
Talk about kicks. Hewitt would have been disappointed last week. 1-8. I understand.
Yeah, he won't be happy with us talking about it.
I'll tell you who would have been more disappointed. Luke Clark, watching them all go over his head, all his pot shots.
He would have expected
he would have had a sunburnt lip just from going like this all day.
and don't worry, Clarkie was very quick to throw Huey under the bus too, because a few people said, Clarkie, you missed a few, and that's the only reason we knew Huey kicked 1-8, because Clarkie said it straight away. He deflected straight away. He said, Huey kicked 1-8. So looking after his captain there. But, no, I mean, Huey, he had a bad day in front of the goals, but he got a lot of the footy. And,
and a good consistent player.
Oh, he's a really good player. Like, when he plays well, he's our best player comfortably when he's playing well. Yeah.
You're in 7th position. Same number of points as Chelsea on 16, but your percentage is 96.08. You might rue that at the end of the year. I mean, let's not play the blame game here, but 12-24-96, it was probably a game you should have won by 10 goals or more against Pearstown.
I think we should have won by more, just looking at the kicking, but I think to say 10 goals or more is probably doing them a bit of discredit. They were really impressed me, Pearstown, with the way they moved the footy. So, the way I sort of play across half back, I'm waiting for them to just sort of blaze away long and just those high balls in that aren't any good for the forwards. And there wasn't any of that, and it made it really, really tricky because they really chipped and hit those 20-metre targets. And for a young side to play a disciplined game style like that was, I think, really impressive.
So they've got a game style that they're trying to play, and they're trying to execute it under pressure. That's what they're trying to do.
And they've got a lot of injuries, thanks to Anytime Fitness. Jack McGuinness, ankle 3 weeks. Tom Craven, ankle 2 weeks. Some of their more experienced players. Archie McGuinness has a groin injury, out for 2 weeks. Chris Brooking, a calf for 1 week. Riley Bradshaw, he's away for another week. And Blake Eklund, ankle for 1 week.
The biggest injury they've got at the moment, though, Dan, is that their coach Boris is in hospital with a bad virus. So he mightn't even coach this week.
Is that right?
Is my understanding.
What sort of virus?
Don't.
I'm not too sure, Dan.
Okay. Right.
But he's certainly in hospital.
Well, I hope he's all right, Boris.
Yeah. So he's an avid listener of this show. And Corey Hanger, I mentioned it to you before, he kicked 5 goals.
On Gash.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to revisit that. But, team defence these days.
So it was a good win. Nathan Gray, 33 touches, Paul, 6 tackles, 5 inside 50s, 157 ranking points. We've got to mention the great man, Paul Rogash, 38 disposals. And we must say it's R-O-G-A-S-H, not R-O-G-A-H, as some of us, including my good self, often write. An efficiency of 84%. What's that?
There we go. It is.
Yeah, it's up there.
It is SH. We've got to write CH.
Did you get Dad's emails about that? He gets quite angry.
Okay.
Hey, Dan. He had 38 touches, but Pearstown kicked 12 points. So he had 12 kickouts, So what happens in your stats these days?
No. Share the kickouts. We share the kickouts.
But
I might add a couple, though.
You'd be happy with that, Foz, wouldn't you?
Well, having played with Paulie, the fact that you haven't got his marks listed there might say a little bit about you, because a good game for Paulie is good a 15
15 marks.
Or in a grand final, it was 21, wasn't it?
We were all there that
Best on
day. We
ground.
know what happened
Oh,
there.
I've seen that grand final. He was amazing that
when
day,
he sat
wasn't
behind the ball with nobody on him.
Did he pay you to bring up that ground?
Yeah.
Nah.
And after a couple of beers, it becomes 22.
That was the all time.
133 Premier data points. So a very, very good game for the great Paul Rogash, as his team is right in the mix when it comes to finals. So Chelsea,
Lukey Hewitt to be dirty though. He's had 40 touches and taken 18 marks. We've hanged crap on him about his 1-8, but he's had 40 touches.
Yeah, it's a good day.
No, he had a good day.
That's a handy day.
Yeah, and Nath Gray's the other one. I think worth a mention. I know Hulks has mentioned him
I
before
love
on
him.
the show. He's having an unbelievable year. And,
He's been featuring in my team of the week most weeks,
I know.
mate, and I don't see anything changing there.
He tells me every week, mate. He goes, I was in the team again. What did Hulk say about me this week?
He's had 33. He's still averaging 27, which is fantastic.
And as Fozzie would know, with Nath, it's quality possessions. He's one of the best ball users I've ever played with.
Yeah.
He's having a great year, which is good.
Sean Foster and Paul Rogash with us for Growth Syndicates Australia on the second division footy show. Thanks to our major sponsor, OBrien Real Estate. Sean Foster had a great day too in Chelsea's big win over Tyre. 29 disposals, 1 goal, 7 inside 50s, 130 Premier data points. He's been outstanding all year. You're close to your best form, Shawnee?
Nah, mate, I don't think so. I think that ship sailed a long time ago when I used to be able to jump and I had a bit of pace. But
29 positions, good day, Sean.
Yeah, it's good to get the hands on it. But when you're in the midfield with Dave Barton and Toddy Gardner, I'm just playing the little third stringer and trying to get a couple of touches here and there. But yeah, nice to get a couple.
Can we clear this? Can we clear this up too? Because you weren't happy with obviously the stat man in the first couple of rounds, mate. I heard that you were producing a lot more than what was actually put out there in the public.
Yeah, we can clear it. Basically, what happened?
Me as well, same
Yeah, of course.
Premier data we're talking about.
Got it wrong again.
Oh, I kicked 2 on the weekend, not 1. Anyway, what happened was we were playing Somerville and I don't have the Premier data, the stats and that, and Brainy messaged me going, have a look at this. And so Ash Foster, who's no relation, but good young fella, good, real young up-and-coming player, was playing in the seconds. But I think he must have been on our team list, so he's been put down for 33 disposals and something or other. So I've messaged Carts and said, mate, you might just sort this out. The poor bloke's going to be playing in the twos with 4 blokes playing on him next Saturday.
What did Glenn do?
But I've worked pretty closely with Carts in the early days of the Premier data and that. So it was more just a bit of feedback. I'm more than happy to be put down for 10 touches because hopefully it means I don't have much attention.
The clubs seem to be
days.
liking it, boys. Don't
It's
they?
great. It's great, mate.
I think when it's used in the right way, it's great. And I think most of the coaches are using it as a good coaching tool.
And it's a good talking point too, boys. A bit of banter amongst each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just on that. How many ranking points did Foz have on the weekend?
130.
How many I have?
Oh, gee, hang on a second.
133.
He does. See, he does this.
I just forgot.
He does this all the time, like with his 2 medals that he won in the grand final day.
That's not true.
So a big percentage booster for
seeing the real Paul
Chelsea on the
Rogash.
weekend. They led by just 1 goal heading into the first break. Piled on the pressure with 6 goals in the second. From there, the margin ballooned. As we look at some of the highlights, Chelsea finishing with 25 goals, 37 scoring shots for the match. And the highlights, thanks to Frankston Jeep. Jack Francis was the best player on the day with a massive 9 goals from his 21 touches. And Curtis Bywater finished it with his own bag of 7, so 16 between them. Jack Francis has had a couple of big bags so far this year. Zane Carter, again, another big day, averaging 30 touches, had 32 possessions and 11 rebounds. For Tyre, Brad Harbertson was named best for his defensive effort. Brad Harbertson did a great job, and Ethan Rahaley was the major ball getter for the Abbeys, as he has been all year.
Always is.
With 22 touches. So big win, Sean. Happy to get the percentage booster, no doubt.
Yep, definitely needed it, Dan. And look tight. Obviously, the margin blew out in the end, but they've kicked 5-13, so that could be a little bit different too. Their first half was ultra competitive. Their ball movement was really good. In obviously with Ethan and. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but Kaka, who plays in the middle, he looks a bit like Nathan Lyon.
Kaka.
He's a gun. He's got great skills.
Cachavella.
Yes, really good player.
Oh, you always.
He played really well. So there was some good
talent there.
There's some good stuff to take out of it. It was just probably the last half blew out a little bit, and which would be disappointing for them. But their first half.
Yeah,
was
we
really
all
good.
hope Type can get a win or two on the board.
Well, the only concerning thing is that it was sort of like a game of keeping us off, because it's probably 228 disposals is not a big day for a side. I think that's one of the lowest for the year, disposal count wise. So trouble winning contested ball, and then trouble obviously finishing off with effective disposal.
How are your injuries, Sean, for Anytime Fitness? It's getting a lot better, isn't it? There was
Getting
an issue
better.
early in the year.
Yeah, missing Scotty McLeod at the moment.
Yeah, Scooter.
How far away would he be?
Probably still another month, I reckon.
What's he done?
So had a stress fracture in his foot.
Yeah. He played
Ruptured.
the first round, though, didn't he?
Yeah, so
Played
first
a few.
round one he ruptured his the plantar fascia that Robert Harvey did, but didn't completely tear it. So he was still able to sort of keep playing and manage it, but then did his calf and has a stress fracture in his foot. So he's got a bit going on, Scoot.
I was going to say, thankfully,
But we do miss him because he gives us that bit of hard edge that we probably haven't had in previous years. And
on-field leadership.
Yeah, exactly. And someone that's had a lot of success that we can learn off as well.
He's a Scotty.
being
So
from the
Scotty's
YC dynasty, wouldn't be too interested in the home and away season, would he?
So hopefully we can get Scotty back in the next month. And Brainy pulled up a bit lame with the old the string on the weekend, so he might be missing for a couple. But other than that, Brad Clark's back and we're starting to get pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Now, Hastings, Paul, Green, ACL, gone for the season. Did that, I think, when you did your hammy in the opening couple of minutes of the first round of the season. Yep. Smith's got a hamstring, and Big Ben King, he missed the premiership with a similar sort of ankle injury, I believe. Gone for the year as well.
No, not gone for the year.
Isn't he?
No.
Right.
I think he's hopeful of returning in a few weeks, Kingy.
Good.
So we'll see how he goes out, because he was playing really well.
He
He
was
was playing the best he's played. Even the game he did it against Langy, against the big fella, he was doing all right.
Yeah.
So hopefully back in a few weeks.
Now, Jackson Calder had a big day. He's got 42 goals for the season. Now, Crib Point were held to just 3 points with the Bulldogs in great form, piling on 5 goals in 15 minutes. The margin continued to increase, even with 4 Crib Point goals before the long break. Mornington found little difficulty with goal scoring, kicking 14 goals after half-time. And as we said, Jackson Calder putting on his best performance of the year, and the best performance by anyone with 11 goals, kicking his 10th from 40 metres out. He's third in 10 minutes in an obvious best-on-ground performance. Perry Lewis-Smith.
That's the biggest story, though.
That is the big story, who was the best on ground for Pines in their thrilling 1-point win in one of the best games of local footy I think most of us have ever seen in that 2018 First Division MPNFL Grand Final when they defeated Sorrento by 1 point. He has come back from Queensland. He had 23 touches, kicked 2 goals. It's his first game for the Dogs.
He had been playing up in Queensland.
Yeah,
though.
he had, but he hadn't been
Last
getting
week.
a senior game, and
Yep.
I know that Mornington got in touch. Pines had not got in touch, and it's created a little bit of controversy between Pines and Mornington. But if you're looking for good players, and both Sean and Paul would know, look,
He was actually going to play at Mornington 2 years ago, so it
It's
didn't
a-
really matter anyway.
it's all free
So
and love and war, isn't
before,
it?
before COVID hit, he was going to leave Pines anyway, and he's going to either go to Mornington or Sorrento. So he's obviously come back. But his effort on the weekend, and even Jacko was saying after the game, it's good to have someone through that midfield that really hits the targets like he did. So
Well, once
from
they
his-
get a few players back too.
well, he's got 23 touches. He had 9 inside 50s that's hitting Jacko. Jacko's had 19 marks inside 50 on Saturday.
it's a big day, isn't it?
And the worst of it was he kicked 1-3 in the first quarter with 2 out in the full and give off 2. And like he just had the yips, and then he started hitting his track. But if you get Perry Lewis-Smith, and the thing with Mornington, they've had a really young, inexperienced side up to this point. So Perry Lewis-Smith coming in the midfield. Dinger's come along really well. Speeds is playing good footy now. You got Jimmy Cameron coming in 2 weeks. You got Heath to come back in the midfield. You
Chris
got Bird
Baker, 6 weeks.
No, yeah, he's going to be a bit. Bird
Yeah.
to come back in the midfield, and
Miller?
Warwick Miller to come back in very shortly.
What's the old man doing, Warwick Miller?
It was only an ankle. We thought it was a ping to hammy, but it was an ankle, so he's not far away. He might even play against Langy this weekend. But they're starting to get it together. And Jacko's form on the weekend was just spot on. But
Susovic back as well this week.
yeah, Sus was back
Thanks
this
to
week,
Anytime
and
Fitness.
Jake Smart was really good as well. Like his disposal off the back line again was spot on. But they started playing some really good football. They had 100 more effective disposals than Cribby on the weekend on a small ground. That is just going to chop you up.
That was probably Cribby's worst loss, and we've got them this week against Tyre. But generally, they've been pretty competitive. Even in the first half, they were okay. But would Steve Hamill be a bit disappointed
They
that the
still
margin
kick
blew
9
out like that?
goals.
Yeah. Is it the fact they're kicking more goals than they have for a long, long time?
Well,
Blackers, would that be the main positive Steve would take out of that?
I think so.
I'll tell you what happened.
You go.
I'll tell you what happened, and it happens every week. So if you play Mornington and Jacko starts to kick up in the first quarter, you'll end up putting 1-2 back in front of him, and then your half back line will chop you up because Jake Smart, Lockie Sustovic use the ball well, and you never get it back forward.
Yeah.
So he'll just keep getting multiple opportunities.
Did Crib Point go defensive and roll some players back?
Yeah, they tried 1-on-1 early and it wasn't working, so that they went with a couple back through, and then it leaves them on the half-back line to chop up through. So, but it takes a really special defender to try and stop Jacko 1-on-1.
We tried to put someone in front of him as well, and he just marks it over the top of him. He's long arms.
But that's where your ruckman could just roll back and still have the others pushing up.
Well, he's and people got to understand he's a different player than he was 2 or 3 years ago. Since he's been up to Darwin, his football's just gone through the roof. So he's not the same player he was 2 or 3 years ago. He's a much advanced player on that. And a bit of it's got to go with Goose too, with that forward craft. So,
but have you robbed Peter to pay Paul a bit there, because he does have a back injury. He's played so much footy. He hasn't missed, obviously, now for the best part of 8 to 9 months. They're going to be in the finals. There's no doubt about that. Is he going to need a rest?
No, he was as fresh as I've seen on the weekend. He was really ordinary 2 or 3 weeks ago, but he's back now. He's okay.
For Crib Point, Brad Arnold was best with 16 touches and 2 goals, and Kevin Vanderberg kicked 3 goals in the 94-point loss. As we go around the grounds now, Somerville proved to be a class above Devon Meadows, and Devon be a bit disappointed with that. This was a real test for them. They were 5-2, and I think they were hoping that they'd be a little bit more competitive than they were. It was a 9-goal win. It was a lightning start to the match with 6 goals in the first quarter and 11 in the first half for Somerville, who've still got a lot of injuries, including Fermanus, who's a week-to-week proposition, thanks to Anytime Fitness, and also Hogenberg, who's probably not going to come back.
I'll tell you the big in for them on the weekend was their centre-half forward is Sedgwick.
Yeah.
He's been police academy. He's been in the police academy.
Hightower.
And what he does do, Holtz, he will help straighten them up. And, you know, the game we saw against Langwarrin.
That's why they missed Fermanus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need something there to straighten them up.
But I think Sedgwick can fill that role for now at centre-half forward.
Best back line in the comp, Sammy.
Yeah, they do. They're keeping teams down to low scores, even though their forward line not quite working. Again, Ryan Gillis didn't have a huge match, but there were a lot of other contributors, and that's what they need to keep doing. Tom Roberts, brilliant in the ruck, having a great year.
He is having a great year.
Lockie Williams, electric with 3 goals from 26 disposals. Zane Martin found 19 touches with 3 goals. Stefan Baumgartner back for Devon after missing the previous week. Best for them with a goal and 20 touches. And both Hillis boys, and we know what a good player Joel Hillis is. He was well held the previous week, but virtually won the game against Coringal. Both had 21 possessions, with Joel kicking 2 goals. Now, Seaford, 4 wins in a row. They get another win.
Ominous.
Yeah, 41-point win over Coringal. Seaford fell behind early, being held to just 1 goal in the first half. But Coringal's biggest issue is their inability to kick goals, especially early. And the Bulls were never able to get back in the game, even though they kept Tim Broomhead pretty quiet. They were thoroughly beaten on the stat sheet, but their pressure can't be ignored, winning the tackle count and also the pressure acts. For the Bulls, Tom Curran best with 31 touches and a goal in a dominant solo performance, and Jack Harms was impressive. For Seaford, Matt Ravenall and Brodie Scully kicked 3 each, and Joel Filipponi, who's been on this show, was named best on ground.
Have you guys played Seaford yet?
Yeah.
Yeah? How long ago was that?
3 weeks ago. That was after our pub session.
Oh,
unfortunately,
yes, it was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but that was it was a pretty tight game.
Yeah.
Pretty well contested through the middle. They got some real balls in there.
They do.
Raso was sort of playing off the half back that day. I think in turn now he's gone into the middle and they've been having a little bit more success.
Yeah. He's having a good year, Raso.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they've got depth through that midfield.
They do. With obviously Broomhead's class, and I just mentioned he might have had a quiet day Saturday, but I'll be intrigued to see if Lockie Hine tagged him from Coringal. He's done a few big jobs this year. I know he got baggers
the week before.
Got baggers. He got Hillis.
Did he get you, Foz? Is that what you?
Yeah. Gave me a bath.
Looking for sitting back and just throwing in the odd comment.
I've heard him telling stories before, and always ends up with someone tagging him.
He's a gun, and he actually he's just a good young kid, and good banter on the field too,
Yeah,
and
I like a little.
and no, he's actually sort of gets the footy as well. He's not just negating; he's working off his opponents, and so he's definitely one to watch, I reckon.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating what happens as the season goes on. Now, at the moment, in regard to injuries, some of all the ones that continue to be hit constantly by injuries. And,
well, I think Rye have got a few too, Dan.
Rye do. We'll get to Rye in a second.
Oh,
but
you're good, Blackers. Good.
Somerville just keep losing soldiers, but keep finding a way to sort of hang in there. So we'll see what happens.
I think everyone's having that this year.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of injuries this year everywhere.
Hamstring injuries, Paul, do you think because we missed a year last year?
We said that at the start of the year. We said it's going to be soft tissue central this year. Just strap yourself in.
Yeah, well, I did mine 5 seconds into round 1, so I agree. Because we've had heaps of injuries as well. And I think it's right
definitely.
through the competition. It's really testing teams' depth. So I think those teams...
And Langwarren are able to cover that at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Aaron Walton's got a week to go with his hamstring, but Rourke Fisher, who is one of your favourites, Hulk, 6 to 8 weeks out with an ankle. Really be back come either the finals.
Talk about the Fishers. The younger brother Aiden is back playing in the seconds, and he's a really good player too.
He can play.
Now, you mentioned Rye. Rye do have a lot of injuries at the moment.
They got a big one out this week, Dan.
Yeah, they sure do. They got McGowan back, though, which will be very handy for them.
Holidays last week?
No, he had a calf injury.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Calf.
He did. Caelan Ryan's out with a hamstring, and he's been probably their best player this year. So
what about Tyrone Head?
He's a huge loss, and Tyrone Head's broken a hand.
Yeah.
Broken a hand?
Who, I think you said Paul's the best player you played on this year.
Apologies to Tyrone. Tyrone is a very good player. Kalani Ryan was the one.
Kalani Ryan.
We saw him that day. We rated him.
Yeah, we thought he was fantastic.
He was the best player on the ground against us by a long way. Yeah. Just played in the middle and was just around stoppages.
He's a bull.
And I think he's young. I think he's pretty young. He's been going for a couple of years, but has always been a young. I think he's really taken off this year.
He was their best against Mornington as well, and playing the midfield.
But they were right in the game with you guys at 3/4 time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Scores were even.
They got some good players there. Kirkwood was back that week, kicked a couple. They got is it Capkins in the forward line?
Yeah, yes.
He's a good player as well.
He's missed a bit of footy too.
Yeah, took a good strong mark and finished well. But Kalani was, like I said, best player on the ground. He's one to look out for.
It's a good name too.
Yeah, the other good thing about Rye, Dan, is they're starting to get some good kids coming through, which is a benefit to them because Mickey O'Rourke and Scotty Beale have worked really hard on getting their 17s and 19s up and playing senior footy.
But Langwarren too good again. They dominated the first quarter from the outset. Matt Norton leading the hit-outs, but they're wasteful in front of goal with 2 goals 6. And it was the inaccuracy that kept the Demons in the contest, closing the gap to 13 points heading into the long break. But Langwarren, as they've been able to do all year, bar the Kringle game, where they won by just 6 points but kicked badly that day, they stamped their authority in the match with a 6-goal third quarter, setting up the win. For Langwarren, Jaden Jakobenko is named best. 17 touches,
good, hasn't he?
12
like
scores.
him.
He's only a young fellow.
We saw his first game.
We did, mate. Mark Bagley returned to his best with 3 goals from 17 touches. And the man who's had the football on a string, Zach Andrew Arthur, 40 touches and 2 goals. Ben Dixon, named best for Rye, had 14 possessions and 6 rebound 50s, while Oscar Whitty touched the football 23
I might have to wind in those odds that we put up last week on DanBet, mate. Zach with another best on ground. He might come in $1.80 this week.
I think so. Has Frankston shown any interest in him?
No,
I think a few weeks ago.
No, their list's full. I think after that night that we had, their list's full, so he can't get on the list at Frankston.
Sandringham, no interest at all.
Well, he's with Sandringham, but they haven't put him on the list, and he's not playing because they're
Didn't he do the pre-season up there?
Yeah, but they're chock-a-block full of all Saints players.
Yeah.
So Delmo's going well though.
Very well.
Very well.
He's not the only one there at Langy. Blake Peach is.
Don't worry, we're all over Peachy.
I reckon we played him 2 weeks ago, and he probably impressed me the most out of the whole midfield because. Like a lot of the time, obviously having Big Red giving you the first purchase, like Zachy and they're just on bolting forward, as you would be. I'll be doing the same.
Yeah.
But Peachy, he was a beauty. He was in the back half helping out, bringing the ball back out while still impacting the clearances. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with him.
Still got Tim McGuinness about 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Well, I think going forward, like they clearly look like the best team. And the other one is Baggers.
Well, that's his best game this week.
Yeah, and look, he's playing like...
He's second gear.
I mean, he's a competitive animal, but he's playing like, warming towards the finals, looking after his body. He's playing forward a lot.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to build him as they go and really unleash him.
We've been saying that for 5 or 6 weeks. We said, look, he's going okay, but don't expect him to be best on ground every week. But he's just creeping. He's just creeping in.
He's such a good. He's a good team man. He'd be happy for those other boys to be getting the footy, and he's just winning. You know,
they appear ready, Blackers. I know they didn't want to go up. What, about 20 years ago? I mean, they need to go up now.
20?
It's time.
Yeah. It is time, but also
they've got to earn
over the last couple of years, they've been the 3rd or 4th best. And with Dramana and Red Hill going up, now they've done their time and they've done their apprenticeship, and now they are the best.
Well, they're the best prepared. Last year we said Red Hill were the best prepared.
And they weren't.
And they weren't going to be competitive in Div 1. But
Still,
Red Hill were prepared.
I still think if Summy can get their list on the park at the right time, that they're going to be a force to reckon with.
100%.
I think the same with Seaford and Mornington.
No, Mornington, no. But if they start getting a few
So
players
you don't
back
think
now,
Mornington are in the mix?
Not in the side they're putting out at the moment. If everything goes right from them, they might be all right at the end.
Yeah.
But I reckon Summy are the only team. Seaford are starting to warm up, but Summy are probably the team that's got that X factor.
They got a lot of match winners, Summy.
Yeah.
And in a final, match winners are really important.
Oh, of course.
And negators like Westy. I know Westy's missed a few with a shoulder, but he's another ripper to get in.
Yeah.
And Allsop's training again. So is Jed Sutton. You know, so
Nathan Gillis is still out with that bad hammock, so
that's
he's got to come back as well.
Yeah,
they'll be right. They'll bank
Sedgwick's back for Marnus.
It's early days, I suppose, isn't it?
Now, talking of teams, this is the team of the week for Frankston RSL, proud sponsor of local footy and Game Changer. And you can always watch a local game from GameFace from the MPNFL every weekend on a TV down at the Frankston RSL. Has anyone ever seen, gentlemen, Matt Norton play in the forward pocket?
Never.
Paul?
Nah, you wouldn't be putting the big fella down there. Keep him in the middle.
What about you, Sean?
Nah, I'm glad, though. It'd be pretty handy just throwing those big arms up. It would be hard to move.
I dropped Chad Mulvogue too this week.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I put Lukey Hewitt in, but we'll get to that.
Anyway,
Right,
your team, go on. You read it, mate.
Right, backline, very, very solid again, but I've made a couple of changes. So Stricko, Lukey Rowe, and Zane Carter are still my full back line, which is very tough. They're just consistent every week. Jakey Smart, another good week. Tommy Backman's in this week. I really like him, so he's taken Mackenzie's spot. Raso's come in, kind of been, well, it was very stiff, but he'll be back in a couple of weeks, I'm sure.
Where's the great man?
Who?
Rogash.
Yeah, 38.
Consistency, mate. I looked through the last couple of weeks. If he puts in another one like that, he'd be close.
Well, Backman's never played centre half back in his life.
Where does he play?
He's a back pocket plumber at best.
I actually like blokes that pick up in my back line.
Is that because
I can't believe Gash has had 5 kicked on him, and he's shot himself in the... Oh.
Yeah, no, I should be nowhere near that team.
Well, one of the great lines by Tommy Havey. Kevin, what are you doing? Sink your boot into it. You're a back pocket plumber.
And we got wings. Nath Grace stays in there. Who's on my other wing? Lockie Williams comes in the side this week on the wing, which is good. Put Tommy Roberts in the ruck. He's having a sensational year.
So good young ruckman.
That's the only reason I pushed, because we're playing a side that's got no tall backs. So I thought Norton would be good in the forward line this week. That's the only reason.
Who are you
playing? Yarra Glen.
You know much about the River Pigs?
You're an idiot.
What are they called?
Heavy grounds.
I'm sure they are, mate. I'm sure they are. Zachary, Andrew Arthur, Tommy Curran stays in there, but he had a quiet one. Blakey Peach, he's still there. 4 line, Broomhead stays in. Francis is in, centre half forward. Fozzie stays in after all his whinging.
You happy with that, mate?
Oh, stoked.
I'd love to see you happy,
I'll tell you, I'll quickly interrupt you, Hulks, but
right,
tell you what you need to put into your team. You need the coach.
Oh, yeah.
The coach needs to be in, I reckon.
Good call. I'll start
in any team of the year or whatever, there's always the coach in there. And I reckon, as good as the Langy boys have been, Neil Craig would have to be knocking the door down.
Yeah, very good.
At the moment.
I appreciate your feedback, mate.
No,
we'll make a change to that.
Yeah, he's done a really good job, hasn't he, with Devon?
Yep, absolutely.
He has.
They've got an up-and-coming list, and they've sort of said themselves, don't have a heap of A-grade talent, but they're just really well coached.
Well, if you have a look at what we predicted at the start of the year, Devon are the surprise packet, and they've done really well. So, and you're right.
We knew that they had recruited well, though, Hogs. They just hadn't been able to apply it. I thought they'd have recruited well. Yeah, of course they had.
They've got, I think, a very tough draw. The draw's almost too tough for a team that finished in the bottom 5 last year, bottom 4 last year. But then again, you've got to beat everyone you come up against to win a premiership. But I still think that they're unlucky that they don't play some of those teams below them twice, considering where their record has been.
Can I finish with team of the week? Or?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I kind of the coach, Hogs. If you don't have Goose in there, you're going to cop emails. He's going to be right onto that.
Goose knows I'm not putting him in there. All right, Norton, Jacko Colders just snuck in with his 11, and that's not Chad. That is Lukey Hewitt after his 40 touches. Interchange bench, Joel Hillis. Dave Barton comes in for his first one. Toddy Gardner from Chelsea. And Rory Hillis for all you Devon Meadows
They'll
fans.
be wrapped because they were at me a couple of weeks ago.
You know what I liked
They
about
were
him
all
this
over me
week?
like a cheap suit.
He tackled hard this week. I liked it. I like his tackling because he doesn't hit the scoreboard,
He's a
but he
bulldozer.
tackled. So
He's
I
a
like
good
what he
player.
did. And the coach this week, so we'll put in the coach as well, and we'll put in Neil Craig for this
Nice.
week. On you, Neil.
Oh, good on you, Fozzie.
Now, our match of the day for Growth Syndicates Australia, who also are our sponsors for our special guest tonight, Sean Foster from Chelsea and Paul Rogash, SCH from the Hastings Football Club. Crib Point Recreation Reserve hosting our match of the day for reconciliation round where the Magpies take on the Yabbies. First time these teams have been seen live. First time I get to look at them as well. So looking forward to it. And GSA helping you eliminate debt, consolidate debt, and pay off the mortgage in around 5 years.
Oh, that'll be a ratings, absolutely. That'll go through the roof.
Now, this day, Reconciliation Day, and as we know, it's obviously a similar situation in the AFL this week, which is...
Didn't Red Hill have one 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they do it on this
Because
weekend?
this is special.
don't
They
know.
just want to do it.
Well, Crib Point have decided to do it here. So this day aims to increase engagement between the respective clubs and their local Indigenous communities, increase member awareness of Indigenous issues and kickstart the club's reconciliation action plan. So we look forward to that. More than a word, reconciliation takes action. Now, Telstra Business Technology Centre of Melbourne South, major match-up this week. In one of the matches of the round, it is 8th against 6th. The loser will drop off the pace a bit in regard to a top 5 spot. Chelsea and also Rye. Nick Strickland and Zane Carter. Now, Nick Strickland is second in total rebound 50s, thanks to Premier Data. 8th in total Premier Data points, 930s, you can see on the screen. Second in kicks, 177. 6th in total disposals, 203. So he likes to kick the footy. Zane Carter, the apprentice for Sean Foster. Is he a good apprentice too, Sean?
Yeah, he's a gun.
He's a gun.
Yeah.
and a good footballer too.
Yeah.
Excellent. I was expecting something else then, Sean.
Nah, mate. Most footballers and that, like good footballers, good hand-eye coordination, are generally pretty good tradies, I reckon. I found.
Good.
Not me.
No?
Not me.
Not you?
Oh, I'm the
Certainly
worst.
not me
You're
as a
not a tradie.
commentator. I was no good.
I'm not trying.
Anyway, Zane Carter first in total rebounds, 10th in total Premier Data points, 879, 3rd in total kicks, 167, and 5th in total disposals, 211. So they'll both be giving a lot of drive, Hulks and Blackers for their respective sides out of defence.
They've been my back pocket boys all year in the team of the year. I'm trying to drop them, but they just keep producing week in, week out.
Be a cracking game down there.
Stricko's just
Good
a ball
weekend
magnet.
plan, looking like.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It should be a clear day, so it should be right.
And tips for this week, again, thanks to
Here we
Telstra
go.
Business and
Here we
Technology
go.
Centre of Melbourne South. The team at Telstra Business Technology Centre of Melbourne South, helping local businesses turn technology into opportunity. So go to tbtcmelbournesouth.com.au to find out more, or call, I'll put on my big radio voice now, 1300 669 103.
That was
It's
great.
1300
Golden tonsils.
669 103 to chat to the team today.
Good work.
Righto. Now, Cappy's going for Crib Point to beat Tyab. Now, last week, not much, guys, separated our selections, with only Cappy missing out on a perfect Division 2 sweep. And as I say, he's going for Crib Point to beat Tyab. Let's go around the table. Blackers.
Cribby.
Cribby, no nip this week.
Paul.
Yeah, Cribby.
Yeah, crib.
Crib Point for me. Rye and Chelsea, one of the matches of the round. Now, Sean, why will you beat Rye, who are horribly out of form at the moment?
Call him horrible, Dan, did you?
Yeah.
You just call him horrible.
Horribly
mate,
out of
I've,
form.
okay.
Horribly out of form. I
Sorry.
didn't call them horrible.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mate, right at Rye is always a pretty tough task. But
While playing there?
It's good, Dan.
yeah, I love playing there. But so do they. They're why we'll beat them. I'd like to think we can sort of get on top in the midfield with Bardo and Toddy having pretty good years, and the King's up and about, as we're saying. So.
How's he going? How's the head? It's all right. He's fitting through the door.
It's been a hard.
Great man.
Yeah, he was up and about.
Oh, would have been me time central.
You can imagine. You paint the picture. Saturday we've come off. He's grabbed his phone straight away. There's texts getting thrown around. I've kicked 7. Jack Francis kicked 9 and best on ground, but I've kicked 7. But no, he's good, King. He's got a heart of gold, the King. So he's all right. But yeah, hopefully we can get a win. Good.
Yeah, I think Chelsea have got a bit too much talent right with a few injuries at the moment for any time fitness, Paul.
Yeah, Chelsea they look like they've got rolling at the moment. So too many class players in there.
I think this is the end of the 4-week patch that we had that we're going to mount Rise year and see how they were going to go. And I think this will be 0-4. I think Chelsea will win this.
Tyrone Head's a massive
loss.
Massive loss.
Very good player.
Good player.
Very good player.
Even
and
though
Kalani Ryan as well, as we mentioned. Yeah.
But even though it is at Rye, I think Chelsea might just have too much firepower.
I think so. All right.
Yeah.
So it should be an interesting game, though. Devon Meadows hosting Seaford. Now, if Devon are legitimate, they'll win this, but I just think Seaford have too much talent, even without Aaron Walton and also Fisher Rourke.
I haven't tipped Devon all year, and it's not because I don't rate them. It's because I think they'll lose every game. So I think they'll lose this one as well.
Seaford have had great form, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been. In the last month, they have been.
Really good.
Seaford
but Devon have got a really good... They're really good at home.
I love what Devon are doing. I reckon they've been fantastic, and they've been the standouts in Div 2 for what we thought they would. So they're terrific, but I don't think they'll beat Seaford.
Sean? Yeah,
Seaford. I haven't seen Devon. From what I saw of Seaford, pretty tight, especially with Raso going in the middle. We love Raso. Raso loves Raso as well. So.
I haven't seen Seaford play yet. We're actually doing the game that they actually play their first match at their redeveloped home ground in a few weeks' time. So I'm looking forward to seeing them for the first time. I know they've got a lot of talent, so that'll be fantastic.
They're very good.
What do you think, Paul?
Similar to Rye, like Fozzie was saying, Devon always hard to play at home, but I think Seaford in a tight one.
I think Seaford will win too. Now, Paul, you've got Coringal. Why will you win?
I think
they're just sitting over here.
No, it used to be Coringal.
You'll still back up. You'll still get angry.
Yeah, Andy Mathers is off the screen. We should mention that.
He's not with Coringal now. He's with Red Hill.
No sense.
I understand.
I think we're starting to hit some form now. We've had, like I said, we've had a lot of guys in and out of the side the first few weeks. So starting to get the core group together and hopefully play some good footy. But it'll be a tough challenge against Coringal. Not sure if our old mate Dale Alanis is playing. I texted him during the week. He reckons he's touch and go. But
he's really been struggling with injury.
Yeah. So adductor or something for us?
Yeah, he did against us. Yeah, the groin.
Yeah, how do you do that?
That's enough.
But I think we'll win.
This is meant to be. This is meant to be a family show. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Show,
poor old Dale. He just likes to go quietly, but he can't, can he, in this competition? Hence why they call him Donk. Look, I think Hastings will win the game. Somerville and Pearce.
Do we get a tip?
Oh, sorry, you're going.
I
thought you gave your tip.
Blackers, what do you reckon?
Blackers?
No, I'm going for Hastings.
You're going for Hastings? Oh, I was going to go.
Yeah, Hastings.
I was going to go Hastings. I'll stick with
Hastings.
I'm with Hastings.
Obviously, too valuable a game for them to drop.
They need to. But so does Coringal. Coringal are under the pump because they're there as well.
Yeah, Coringal have been very good, but there have been 15, 20 minutes of most games where they just go missing.
Apparently, I've obviously had a bit of a chat to Gash on the way here just to get a few gags and whatnot, but they've got no one to play on him, you reckon? So I'm with Hastings.
No, Jordan Pomeroy.
Who plays on him?
Jordan Pomeroy.
No, Jordan will go through the midfield.
I don't think they have a matchup for him.
Lockie Hine might go to him.
Well, that's true.
I bet you're saying
Lockie will give you a bath.
Was that another story he told just to say that someone tagged him again?
Yeah,
it ended up there again. You're starting to see how he works.
It was fantastic.
So I think that Hastings to win that game. You thought Hastings, Blackers? You too?
Yeah, Hastings, yeah.
Hastings, righto. Somerville and Pearsdale. Somerville just can't afford to drop games like this, and I don't think they will, even though Pearsdale, as we've said, and they're missing a few players through injury, but they're battling manfully. Somerville are looking good at the moment. Blackers.
Yeah, good luck to Boris, because if he doesn't coach this
I
week...
hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay, but Summy...
Yeah, Summy for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Summy.
Yeah, I reckon Pearsdale will give him a good run, though.
Oh, of course they will. They've been good all year. And Mornington and Langwarren, it is match of the day. Now, Cappy, his other selections, he went for Chelsea, he went for Seaford, he went for Coringle, and he also went for Somerville, and he's going for Langwarren to beat Mornington, which is an absolute belter. First against third at Mornington. Hulks, the fact that the ground it will suit Mornington and being a bit smaller than what Langwarren is used to. Will that help Mornington with their outside run, or Langy have just got too much of everything?
I think the ground suits Langy, probably more than it does Mornington. I reckon the biggest thing in this game is going to be Norton. Norton, they haven't got a ruckman. Toddy Paganoni's been just competing, and he's just doing a great job as a kid, but you're coming up against one of the best ruckmans in the comp.
The size.
So, and they also don't have a tall defender. So when Norton goes forward, especially on a small ground, they're going to have issues through there as well. So they might be able to cut even in the midfield because the midfield's getting a lot better. But he is a key to this game. So, yeah, I'll take Langy.
Mitch Cuthbert, Blackers on Calder?
I think so.
Great battle.
Yeah, it will be a good battle because, I rate him.
Yeah, very good backman. Very good. Oh, look,
I think they'll trust him to go.
You can't go past Langy at the moment.
I think they'll trust him to go one-on-one too because he's got that build about him as well in size.
Yeah,
so
and he likes the challenges, Dan.
Yeah.
If Tuddenham's fit, he tends to go back and fill the hole too, doesn't he?
Of course, yeah.
He's a very good player. No, I'm
Did
going
he play
for
last
Langy.
week, Tuddenham? Or because he didn't play the week before?
No, but he's due back, I think. Yeah.
No, Langy for me.
Yep, I'll tip Langy. I think you mentioned before, I think Cuthbert's a great matchup for Calder. Young guy he's really athletic, and I think he'll do the job.
He's kicked on in the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? He's been absolutely fantastic.
Who's that?
The last couple of years, Cuthbert.
Oh, yeah.
Very good player.
I'm tipping Mornington.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it happened to the D's in the weekend. We were 9 and zip, I think, and we lost one, so you got to lose one
Do
eventually.
you think you lose by a point and it'll be a bad decision given at the end?
Let's not talk about it. But, no, I reckon Mornington will want a big scalp as well.
Yeah,
and it's at Mornington as well, isn't it? So, I reckon from the Holcomb penthouse overlooking the ground, that'd be a good spectacle.
And we thank Anytime Fitness for looking after our injury update, and also Growth Syndicates Australia for our special guests. Two of our favourites, and Sean Foster from the Chelsea Footy Club. Good luck on the weekend, Foz. Good luck on the weekend, Paul. A big game for both teams as they try and find a spot in the finals in second division. Thank you, Hulks. Thank you, Blackers. Enjoy your footy. And, of course, our match of the day this week, the big game. First time I get a chance to have a look at Crib Point and Tyab, and that'll be thanks to O'Brien's Real Estate. Enjoy your footy. Stay safe and get your GameFace on.